It's just what is going on, everybody? It is a great Wednesday afternoon. I am joined by Coach, joined by Pete Supernova, and we are going to talk some fantasy football today. How's it going, gentlemen? Are you ready to talk? I'll start with you, Coach.
Oh, yeah, let's do it.
All right. Pete, how you doing, my friend?
I'm good. I am good. Not usually here with you guys on the late night. So, yeah, ready to roll.
Yeah, well, we've got some big-time games this weekend. I don't know how many leagues you're in, Pete, but Coach and I actually face off in our biggest league this week in the playoffs. So he's trying to take me down. I don't think it's going to happen. I'm coming off a week where I scored almost 200 points, so I'm really excited to throw up another dub on Coach here.
Yeah, to be the champ, you got to beat the champ. You know, I got to beat you. I got to knock you off.
That's true.
So you won last year. Is this dynasty or?
It is. It is our first dynasty league.
Oh, like both of you first ever league you joined?
Yeah.
Oh. All right. So ready? First start sit question. Ready, Pete? This one's for you. Jaden Reed, Tank Dell, Michael Pittman. Pick one.
I mean, I read something that Tank Dell, the Chiefs give a good amount of yards up, fantasy points up to slot receivers if Dell plays the slot. Pittman, who are the Colts? The Colts got a Tennessee.
Yeah.
Packers have Saints. Honestly, I know it's so frustrating, but Jaden Reed sounds good. I mean, Saints have been pretty bad against slot receivers, but I get it's tough.
He has fell off a cliff, man. Like he has. I don't know what's up there. I personally think part of Tank Dell's problem is that CJ Stroud has had a little bit of a problem as a whole this season. But I do not know what's going on with Jaden Reed.
I just think it's an example of it's just going to be what this Packers team is. Like I don't unless there's like an alpha that emerges, and the problem like Jaden Reed can be an alpha, but he's not like a prototypical guy. So like I just don't think there's never going to be like a guy there that I think you can trust on a consistent basis. I mean, they've pretty much become like a running football team at this point, which I think that's why I tried to avoid the Packers this year because I just worried about the mouths and I thought it'd be more of a rotation, but I did have Jacobs in my top 12 pre-draft. But yeah, I think I would still go with Jaden Reed in that situation.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too.
Yeah, that's what I told him too. I said go with Reed, but it feels like a lot of his is just touchdown dependency. And he scores a lot of them, to be fair. I mean, he finds a way to get in the end zone.
Yeah, if I'm usually stuck, I usually like to go to Vegas. Fantasy Pros has the betting pros, and I just like to compare the player props of every guy, and whoever Vegas has projected like the highest amount of catch, like I just compare it all, and I let Vegas make the decision if I'm like really split. I always say Vegas isn't in the business of losing money, so they're not going to put out lines unless they feel pretty good about it.
Yeah, they seem to know stuff, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
It seems like you said, they're in the business of making money, so they're gonna put out lines that are beneficial for them. So, Coach, you should go with the worst line since we're playing each other. I appreciate that.
Yeah, that's a good idea. What if we just play like this like the whole time in the background?
No, terrible. Matt would probably like that.
I don't know why they're in here. I don't know who put them in here. There's this one. I don't like you put it like really low, I guess. Like people like to have the background music on the videos and stuff, but I just
look at Coach dancing. Little known fact, Coach is a heck of a dancer.
Oh.
Whoa. There you go. I can do a little bit of everything, you know.
Except cook.
There you go.
And a whole lot of nothing. A little bit of everything.
Except cook. All right. Well, questions are kind of jumping in here, so let's try and answer a few of these. Matt was our first question of the day. He says, I was able to pick up Madison, Spears, and Miller off the waiver wire. Here are my current RBs. Who do I start? Tracy, Pollard, Walker, Madison, Spears, and Miller. If we're picking two, who are we going with? For me, I'm going to say Walker as long as he's playing, and probably Tracy. What about you, Pete?
I mean, at this point, Pollard, I feel like he has to get a start every week. He's just been consistent. I know the matchup. I mean, the Colts run defense played good against Denver last week, but overall, run defense hasn't been that great. It's one of the worst in the league. So I think it's Pollard. And honestly, I could see a world where you're starting Tracy, but I think if Walker's up, and especially Geno practice today, I think you start Walker. Charbonnet has like a abdominal injury, I think. So I think you're probably going with Walker as well. You guys?
I tend to think Tracy and Walker. The Spears thing with Pollard scares me a little bit. But it probably shouldn't. But that does make me a little bit uneasy. Where Walker and Tracy feels safer, the safer play to me. So I think that's probably where I'm going.
That's probably a good way to look at it too, as being the safer play. I mean, Spears knocked me out last week. I was telling Coach about this. I thought I was going to have a good matchup with someone playing Spears, and boy, was I wrong. 25 points knocked me out of the playoffs. He found the end zone twice. I'm not sure. I haven't seen an update on Alvin Kamara. Does anybody know anything different?
He's questionable right now, but he hasn't been ruled out yet. Let me check the injury report real quick and see.
Because Kendra is a player I really liked pre-draft last year. Coach knew I liked him a lot. So I really want to see what would happen if he could actually get a full workload, because we've never seen that. We got week 18 last year where he played just a third of the snaps, and it's the best game of his career, but we haven't seen him do anything with a full workload.
So because they play on Monday and it's Wednesday, they don't have to put an injury report out, I think, today. So I think we'll get one tomorrow. I could be wrong on that, but I thought that was the rule, and I don't see anything on it. So,
well, and the other guy, Alexander Madison, is somewhat interesting because he has the Jags, I believe, this week. Yeah. And they're almost out of other running backs. So that makes him definitely an intriguing play nonetheless.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sincere out for the year. So,
well, I think it says something that they did. The Saints did pick up Clyde Edwards-Helaire today. So maybe a corresponding move because they're expecting Kamara not to play, by the way. So, but I don't even think I'm starting Miller, even if Kamara gets ruled out. So,
yeah, I'd be scared to do it.
Yeah.
Well, let's jump to our next one from Jamie, guys. He says, am I crazy for starting Garindo over Mixon? Already starting Bijan and Connor. Texans already locked up their playoff seeds, so I could see them limiting Mixon to get him fully healthy. I don't think I'm going to bench Mixon for Garindo, personally. I think I'm going to roll with Mixon. He got you there. Even unless they rule him out, I think he's going to play the game unless it becomes a blowout. What about you, Coach?
Yeah, I'm the same way. Like, he's been so good. I just have to play him. Unless some report comes out between now and then, it makes me think they're going to do that. I'm rolling with Mixon.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I would roll with the guys that got you there. Mixon popped up on the injury report with an ankle, limited in practice today. But he's been consistently great this year. Only 3 games below 16 fantasy points this year. And so the volume has been there. It was a tough week last week, but Miami's run defense has been better. Kansas City, though, does have a tough run defense. But I would be starting Mixon. I wouldn't roll out with Garindo, to be honest with you.
This is really what makes fantasy playoffs so intriguing anyway. Me and Matt talk about this all the time. Like, a lot of times you just want to make the playoffs. Your seed doesn't necessarily matter in the fantasy playoffs. Just get in. Then there's a whole lot of luck that happens. There is a world where the Texans go down, go up big, whatever at halftime. Mixon sits now because they really don't need the game. and everything goes haywire. I mean, there is a world where that could happen.
Yeah. I think Mahomes is going to play. I mean, he practiced in full yesterday, played in full today. So I don't think they run away with this one. But yeah, I don't know. With Garendo, I mean, he was good. Who do the 49ers get again? I'm just curious.
They play the Dolphins.
Yeah, I mean, they just held Mixon in check. It is a good matchup though. 21st against the run, against fantasy running backs. In terms of that, is there a softer matchup in the bottom third? But I'd still go with Mixon.
Yeah.
All right, let's get here to War Eagles question. It says, who should I start the flex? Scary Terry, Ford, or Dobbs? Ford is going to have a big workload. I know that much. Man, I want to say Scary Terry. Like I feel like the hot streak, I can't bench him. I mean, he's been on fire. There was a real world where last week he could have had 200 plus yards and 3 to 4 touchdowns if a couple plays would have worked out a little bit better. I mean, he's played fantastic. Jaden Daniels on fire. So for me, I don't know how I wouldn't put Scary Terry in my lineup. What about you, Pete?
Yeah, I mean, I can understand the hesitancy here. Philadelphia #1 against wide receivers, and Terry only was actually targeted twice last time they matched up. 1 catch, 10 yards. But they're at home. Jaden Daniels was more banged up at this time. This is week 11, and that injury in Carolina against Carolina happened 3 weeks prior to this game. So healthy Jaden Daniels, they get to see him one more time, and I think they put up a better fight this time. So I would go with Terry. I mean, the problem with Ford is the matchup's good, but we don't really know if this offense is going to be able to move the ball. So I don't know if I could trust him. I think Dobbs is intriguing, but that has blowout potential as well. So I would go with Terry, but I could be swayed on Dobbs. I'm not starting Ford though.
Coach?
For me, Terry is by far the safest play of the three. Like, I mean, they're going to try to get him the ball. He's their best receiver. I mean, that's a no-brainer to me. I do like the volume I think Ford is going to get, and Dobbs is a roller coaster every week. Like, there's no telling what's going to happen there. So for me, it's for sure Scary Terry, no doubt.
Yeah, and I think Hoff was making this comment to what we were talking about earlier, but it applies here too. The thing with Packers and LaFleur is the offense, they don't care. It doesn't matter who the alpha wide receiver is. They're just going to go to whoever's open. And like Pete said earlier, Josh Jacobs is playing really good football. And if they can hand it off to him,
I also think,
times,
I think LaFleur, it's purposeful by LaFleur to spread the ball around. Like I do believe that he makes it's purposeful by him to move around who he's targeting and who the primary is from play to play to purposely keep people off balance. That's part of his genius to a certain extent.
Yeah. I mean, he's great. There's no denying that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Coach, this is the perfect question for you. Should I drop Debo for DJ Moore, PPR in the semifinals? You're a big Debo guy, and you're a Bears fan. Where do you fall on this question?
Man, don't get me started on the Bears. Caleb Williams is a train wreck. The Bears are a train wreck. DJ Moore appears to be part of our problem, to be honest. Like, I think he's a really good player. We all know that. He has other intangibles that are frustrating at times. But that being said, I'd probably just hang on to Debo. I don't know what's going to happen with DJ Moore. They're definitely going to throw him a few screens, whether he's covered or not, and let him get destroyed out there for a couple yards here and there. He may crease one. But at the same time, I just think I was trying to look back. Let's see. Debo. Yeah, they got the Dolphins. Yeah.
No, they have Detroit. They have Detroit.
Oh, well. Okay. Wait a minute.
You were looking at Debo. Debo
No.
has the Dolphins. Debo has Dolphins. DJ,
Yeah.
Did I mess you up there?
Yeah. Debo has
Sorry.
the Dolphins. Yeah. I like that matchup. I like that. Now Detroit has has their own problems defensively for sure. I'm just gonna roll. I like Debo. I just do. He has more ways that he can impact the game than DJ Moore.
I think for me, I would go with DJ Moore here. I mean, the volume is significantly more for him right now than what Debo has had. And Debo, I know this is PPR, but I'm just looking at a half PPR sheet right here, and he's been below 5 points 5 weeks in a row. So it's not been great production at all. And the 49ers are kind of in a train wreck too. I know you were saying the Bears are, but the Bears are still trying to work through Caleb Williams' kinks and try and get him more comfortable and continue to progress. But Pete, where do you fall? Split this for us.
Yeah, I'm probably going DJ Moore. It's funny though that you say that, Coach, because I mean the usage for DJ Moore has been absolutely maddening. I mean it's this all they do is screens. I mean, I'm looking at his depth of target here because I was curious, and out of 47 qualified players with a minimum of I hate Pro Football Focus does 50% of 138 targets. So quick math says that's around 70 targets, 68 or 69. But out of wide receivers that have had 69 targets this year, he ranks 42 out of 47 for average depth of target at 7.6. I mean, they're just not throwing him the ball downfield. But what I would say is he played good against Detroit last time. Just 3 weeks ago, he had 23.7 fantasy points. And 7, 7, 8, 6, 8. That's been his stat line for receptions since week 11. So I know he's not giving you that pop that Debo may be able to give you, which is why I could understand going Debo, and the matchup is solid. I think I still go DJ Moore here though. But I can understand the hesitancy. And I think maybe you might be a little sour because of the Bears.
Well, I was just about to say that. I have admitted bias right now against the Bears and DJ Moore and frustrated and all kinds of things that I'm not. Don't get me started. Next.
Next. All right, well, we'll jump to Jared's next question. He says, are you guys worried about Jefferson this week with the heavy wind and the rain that's going to be in the game? It is a factor, but I know that Justin Jefferson is the best player in football, and I just have a really hard time benching him. And if I have him, I'm going to play him. It's pretty easy for me. Pete, do you look at that differently?
No, you're playing him. I mean, I don't know if you're considering benching him, you shouldn't. But yeah, I mean, I would temper expectations. I don't know if we see a blowout game, but look, it's always tough to go down to Seattle, especially when the weather's shitty too. But yeah, I mean, you're not benching Jefferson.
Look, if you lose a fantasy playoff game and Jefferson's on your bench, then you'll never be able to
don't deserve to
live
play.
that down. Yeah,
I shouldn't play fantasy anymore.
That's a problem.
Yeah,
you're playing that guy.
This next question from Steven is one that I'm sitting here and I'm struggling to come up with an answer on. Pick 2 half PPR, Neighbors, Devontae, and Jonathan Taylor. I mean, you've got Neighbors with great volume, but he's playing with Drew Lock. Jonathan Taylor, I mean, it was nice to hear some reassurance from Steichen when he was asked, is there any question about benching Taylor for the fumble? And he said our RB2s basically aren't worth a dang. So Taylor's going to continue to get his workload. So, maybe he's going to have a little bit of revenge and try and come back and make some plays and make something happen. Coach, do any 2 players here stick out for you?
Well, Taylor sticks out for me. Like, I'm playing Jonathan Taylor. Then it's just going to have to be Jonathan Taylor and Neighbors. I'm just not touching Devontae.
Yeah, I think I lean Jonathan Taylor and Neighbors too. Man, that's tough. Pete, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely have to start Neighbors with Locke at quarterback. They really did pepper him even more. It was more of a worry when it was DeVito initially. But I don't know. I mean, Colts have the Titans. Devontae gets the Bills. It's a tough matchup there too. I think I don't know. It's definitely tough. I can understand going with Jonathan Taylor. I think I'd go Devontae only because I mean, that relationship. Actually, hold on. Let me check really quick. Oh no, I'm sorry. Jets. Why did I say Jets get Bills? Devontae
They
gets
have the
the
Rams.
Rams, which is a good matchup. I think I would go with Devontae over Taylor only because I just believe that relationship is starting to click again.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna ride with. I would be more interested to maybe sit Neighbors over Taylor, but I think I prefer Devontae over the three of these guys the most, just to how he's been playing. So.
Yeah.
And he's on a heater too. I mean, he scored 3 straight weeks, double-digit points those weeks. Last week, obviously, he had the big game of 40 points, almost 200 yards and 2 touchdowns. So I can't blame you for playing him at all. But he does have one extra part here of Kyler or Jaden Daniels. Kyler struggled. He's kind of been ho-hum on the season. I'm going to go with Jaden Daniels. It's a divisional game. It's a must-win game for the
I'm
Commanders.
shocked.
To continue
I'm
to play
shocked.
I'm serious. It's true. I'm a Commanders fan, and I know what Coach is going to say too, because he's a big time Kyler guy. If you didn't know, Pete, he loves Kyler. So I'll let him answer that part.
I'm actually shocked if
No,
that's.
but
I don't know if that's facetious or he actually does love Kyler.
that's not true at all. But
I was going to say I did
but
not think that was true.
I'm taking Kyler right here because he has the Panthers.
Wow,
I mean,
that actually surprised me.
There you go.
You're usually very critical of him, Pete. Where are you on these two quarterbacks?
I think Jaden Daniels is a better football player. Let's get that out there. But this week, I like the Kyler's matchup.
Yeah, the matchup is definitely better for Kyler. He's burned me the last 2 weeks. Jaden looks like he's healthy, and I think I would start Jaden, but it is frustrating. Kyler has just not played well in plus matchups. The last 2 weeks he's had good matchups, and he still hasn't really helped us out. And it's frustrating because I am starting Kyler over Herbert. I'm starting Kyler in a couple spots, but I think I'd still lean Daniels just because Kyler just. I don't know, man. It just doesn't seem to click with him right now. I don't know what's going on.
It's really troubling. I mean, I don't know how many more passes we can give him for this to kind of eventually come together, but it just hasn't.
Why are you shaking your head, Coach?
It's not surprising. Like he can't stand in the pocket and throw the football. Like it's the same story. This is nothing new with Kyler Murray, if we're being real honest here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But this is a heck of a week if you got James Conner on your team facing the Panthers, for instance.
Well, some people traded for him, anticipating it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Didn't we talk
Coach
about that
and I did that.
Yeah,
we co-managed the team, and we went and got James Conner in a league, hoping for this exact moment where we can throw him in there and let him go after it against Panthers.
Well, isn't it funny in Dynasty? Like nobody wanted Evans, nobody wanted Connor, and these are two guys that look like they're could be league winners at the most important time of the year. But especially in Dynasty, nobody wants those old guys though.
Aaron Jones.
Yeah.
Aaron Jones. Yep.
Yep.
Adams right now, at least.
Yeah. This was the year of those veteran running backs. I mean, Mixon, Henry, all those guys, they were told, ship them off, get rid of them now. It's your last chance. And then here we are. Those are the guys that are still right up there at the top, not looking like they're going to slow down. But before we move on to our next question,
especially in Dynasty, that's a big deal. Like that age thing is a big deal in Dynasty.
Yeah.
Pete, you mentioned. Go ahead, Pete.
No. I was agreeing with Coach.
You mentioned Evans. I have a question for you guys. Do you think he breaks the 1,000-yard mark?
I do. Yeah. I think
Coach?
they're going to make it. I think they know it's important.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. I'm the same way. I think so.
He needs 251, so 3 games left to do it.
That's nothing for him.
I think he can do it. But, we were talking about Jaden Daniels versus Kyler. We also have the question from War Eagle of Burrow versus Daniels this week. How do we feel about playing Burrow? He's taking on the Browns. Again, we say it every single week, but it's a must-win for the Bengals if they want to keep their playoff hopes alive. And these are the games that they've lost all year, where they've taken on the bad teams and they find a way to lose. But Burrow has played phenomenal football. Coach, do you have any change in your Daniels pick here?
No, I'm picking Burrow. I mean, he's been the best quarterback in football as a whole this year anyway. I'm going to roll with Burrow here, especially at home versus the Browns. In a must-win, I'm going to take Burrow.
Me too.
Pete? Yeah, I would start Burrow too. I think it's the safest play, and it's also still a high ceiling play, despite the rushing upside of Jaden Daniels. I would be perfectly comfortable with that.
Yeah.
All right, Over the Moon Films asks us, says, "Hey y'all, I need an RB2 and a flex this week. My options are Chase Brown, B. Rob, Bucky, ETN, Debo, and DJ Moore. What are our thoughts?" So, what RB2 are we picking here? And what wide receiver or flex, I guess we should say. My gut, I lean kind of going with Chase Brown and Bucky, to be honest. But B-Rob's interesting. If I can avoid Debo and DJ Moore, I might do it. But the volume's still there, like we talked about earlier. Pete, what are your thoughts here?
Yeah, I would roll with Bucky at the RB2. I put Chase Brown in the flex. And if you're teetering, I would be open to moving Chase Brown down for DJ Moore just because of the matchup. But Chase Brown's been too hot and Bucky's been playing well. So I would go with those two as well.
Yep. Same
Coach?
here. Chase Brown and Bucky. I hate saying Bucky, but Bucky.
Bucky is always the answer. All right, well, we've got a Bo Nix question here. Bo Nix, Penix, or Caleb? Coach, I'm going to let you answer this one first. There's a lot on the line for you. So what are your thoughts?
This dude's got all three of these guys. Let's see. I'm going Bo Nix. I know that shocks a lot of you.
He followed it up with pick 2, so go with 2, Coach.
Pick 2. Oh gosh, the Penix thing. I just don't know that. Like, I don't know. That makes me that unnerves me a little bit. Caleb's been bad, but who he wasn't bad against was the Lions on Thanksgiving Day. So there is that. So I'll go Bo Nix and Caleb. It's my dream scenario,
Your 2 guys.
Man. I'll go with I could see sitting Knicks just because it's a quick turnaround on a Thursday and they have to travel.
The Chargers are good on D anyway.
Yeah, and they are, and Bo has been not great the last 2 weeks. But Penix first start, I'm gonna roll with Knicks at least over Penix. I could see maybe Penix because he plays the Giants, but Caleb played well last time against the Lions in a game script that's playing from behind. But it's tough. It would be between those two. I do worry. I know that Detroit's been getting slammed about their defense and all their injuries, but I don't know, man. I think that defense is going to come out pretty pissed off because everyone's kind of writing them off now with all the injuries with Montgomery. So I could be swayed on rolling out Penix, honestly, but I think it's still Caleb and Nix.
Yeah, I think you're right there about the Lions too. I think they're going to come out pissed off. A lot of people are talking about them. A lot of questions about Dan Campbell and can he actually coach? And I think that stuff is wild that we're even entertaining it. This team is really good. They've had a lot of injuries, but they're still finding a way to win. And they won 11 games in a row. Like, they're a good football team. They're going to continue to try and figure it out. For me in this question, I'm going to go Bo Nix and Penix. I don't know. I just want to give it a shot. Caleb has been really, really bad. And I think there's a world where the Lions come out here and they hit him in the mouth.
Yeah.
Well,
what has Caleb done?
And Caleb hasn't been that bad as far as statistically goes, right? They haven't been winning, but he's had a couple of really good games there. Now, obviously not this past week. That being, I mentioned this earlier with Kyler. I think this is one heck of a week if you got Bijan Robinson on your team right now, because the Falcons surely are going to lean on him even more this week to help Penix out. I would hope, but there's no better matchup for your first start than the Giants if you're Penix.
That is true. Caleb, though, let's see. 18, 28, 28, 17, 13. and it's Detroit's 20th against quarterbacks in fantasy. So I mean, it's really not a bad matchup for Caleb either. And he's giving you a decent floor over the last few weeks. I mean, 14's not great, but if he's your QB2 and Knicks has a QB1 day, you should be all right.
Well,
So-
it's Caleb has just been so inaccurate down the field. Obviously, we know he holds the ball too long and things like that, but he has been terribly inaccurate, especially on anything over 10, 15 yards. Like, he's not even close out there.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, they're definitely not on the same page. Whether it's Caleb's timing or wide receiver's timing, I don't know, but it definitely needs to be worked on. Mr. Magic says, if Kamara is out and Walker is playing, which two do I play? Keenan, Devonta Smith, and Kendre Miller. For me, I think kind of like what Pete said earlier, I'm really interested to see what happens with Kendre Miller, but I don't really want to play him unless I have to. So I would probably go with Devonta Smith and Keenan here. Or do you guys read this as the ability to pick with Walker between those two?
Kamara is out and Walker's playing. Which two? I'm assuming Walker's in his lineup, right?
That's what I think too.
Yeah. I'm with you though. Keenan and Devonta, Detroit bad against slot receivers. Keenan scored 2 touchdowns against them a couple weeks back.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm not rolling the dice with Kendre Miller yet.
Yeah, I agree on all that.
All right, easy enough. Dion says, hey guys, good evening. I made it to round 2 of my very first fantasy league. Hey, congratulations, man. That's awesome. Props to you. I hope you can make it one round further. He says, feeling pretty good. Need some help in his PPR league. Flex 1, Judy, Dowdle, Jacoby Myers, or Pollard. Pete, I'm going to let you answer this one first. Where do you fall in this group?
Round 2, pretty good. Flex 1. So
How much does the quarterback in Cleveland factor into your?
I was just about to say, I can't go with Judy right now, because of that. I know he's been hot, but I mean, so when you look at Denver, right? When Judy was in Denver, they had issues getting him the ball with bad quarterbacks. Now, I'm not saying Winston's a great quarterback, but like, there's something. Judy takes a little bit too long off the line to get open, and I feel like a young quarterback might have issues being patient to look his way. So I'm not really comfortable starting Judy, even with him being this hot. Honestly, I'd probably lean Dowdle against the Bucks. He's been playing really well. Bucks run defense is not great. And if it's not Dowdle, I would go with Pollard.
Yeah, I'm rolling with the AC Reynolds product. Go Rico Dowdle. Coach?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I'm with you on that. The Cowboys have finally made a concerted effort to get him the ball, which they should have probably been doing all year long. So I'm gonna roll with Dowdle.
All right. Well, there we have it.
Man,
good luck, Daniel.
Man, he lit me up in high school, boy. Let me tell you, in a high school game, he torched our butts.
Woo. Yeah.
Oh, did you play him in high school? I didn't know that.
I coached against him.
Really?
I played him.
Yeah.
Dowdle?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know.
He was a high school quarterback.
Really?
He was a high school quarterback. Yeah. He did not get an offer until like the midway through his senior year.
It's kind of similar to his fantasy. Nobody wanted him to be until the end of the season at this point. But not to say, I mean, do you think Dallas sticks with him? I don't think so. I think he maybe is a complimentary.
I think they're going to draft someone.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like they told us everything that we need to know about how they feel about him, considering it took them this long to commit to him, and they wanted to give Zeke the ball for how long? It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
What I don't know is if this is a contract year for him. I mean, it's his 5th year, so I would imagine it's pretty close unless he recently re-signed. So I could see him coming back on a small contract and, being the number 2 guy with whoever they draft, whether it's Genty. A lot of people talk about Genty or Omari and Hampton, whoever it's going to be. I see Dallas trying to draft a playmaker at that position.
What, you don't believe in Deuce Vaughn?
Deuce Vaughn could be the answer. It just
I had
takes
a buddy.
time. Look
I
at
had a
Baker.
buddy of mine that was so convinced on Deuce Vaughn that he drafted him in the second round in a rookie draft, in a super flex, not a one quarterback. Like
Yeah, that,
I said, all right,
that's
dude.
that's too high. Yeah, maybe is he a Dallas fan? Is that what it is?
No, he's a Giants fan.
Oh,
It was so stupid. I couldn't believe it. But
Coach, you look sick to your stomach.
Well, I'm the guy that thinks you have to wait 215 to play, running back in the NFL. I don't think Deuce Vaughn measures up quite.
He definitely doesn't. All right, well, let's hit our next question here. And this one is definitely going to Pete. He said he needs help choosing his defense and special teams this week. My options are the Cardinals, Lions, and Ravens. What do you guys think?
We've got the guy for the answer.
That's right. Let him know, Coach. You do the opening here. Lay the scene.
This is the guy, man. If you want a defense, he's your guy right here. The defensive guru right here. Hoff is somewhere going, call out my kickers. Hoff does kickers. right here, defense.
Honestly, as we get later on into the season, like every week I start to question myself more and more, because when you're in the season, it's different ranking, and teams you can make a wrong call in the season, but people lose matchups. It's not a big deal. There's a whole season. So it has gotten stressful. I will say, Cardinals get a plus matchup against Carolina, but they've came along the last few weeks. And I would go with the Lions here. I don't know why everyone keeps asking me Ravens, and after what they did against the Giants last week, I don't know how you can trust the Ravens in this spot. Ravens get the Steelers, right? Ravens get Steelers. Am I wrong on that? I think Ravens get Steelers. Yeah, Ravens get Steelers. Yeah. But yeah, I like the Lions, similar as we talked before. I know they have injuries, but to me, Caleb is taking so many sacks. I know he's not turning the ball over, throwing interceptions, but I think you have to go the Lions. They are away, but I just think this team is pissed off. Everyone's kind of pretty much saying, that they're definitely not a team that you should be worried about anymore at this point. So to me, I don't know. I'm rolling with the Lions. I feel really good about them this week. And people were calling me crazy on my videos, but I know the injuries are there, but I'm still going to roll with the Lions in this one.
Yeah. I mean, we talked about it earlier. I think they're going to come out pissed off and, go out there and hit them in the mouth. And that's Dan Campbell's way. And I think there's something to be said for that. Because like I said, this is a good football team. If you're saying you're rolling with the Lions, I trust Pete's judgment. So I'm going to go with the Lions too. I mean, I use Pete to call all of my defenses for the entire season. So I will do that. Coach just walked off, but we did get a super chat from none other than the kicker expert himself, Mr. Michael Hoff. And Coach is back. This one I think is directed to you. It says, I love me some kickers. McLaughlin for the win. There you go, guys.
Man.
There's your free kicker pickup for the week.
You don't get those $2 back, Hoff.
That's right. That is right.
All right. Yeah.
No, go ahead, Pete. Go ahead.
No, you're good. No, you're good. You're good. I was just gonna say hi to Albert. He said hello.
Well, you said
hello, Albert.
You did say the Cardinals because the Bears are going to light up the Lions. That's what I heard, right?
that was what I said actually.
Okay.
Yeah, I did say that.
What's that, Coach? Did you walk off and suddenly get some positivity come back in your life?
Yeah.
Like this ray of sunshine.
I've always been known for my positive attitude.
Yeah.
Positive vibes.
I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Michael's question. Let's see here. He says, Cup, Adams, Garrett Wilson. Cup again. Should I start all and start one quarterback? Caleb Williams, Bo Nix, or Michael Penix Jr.? I think this is the one where we all said we would go with Bo Nix between these three quarterbacks. So if you're rolling with one quarterback, then I think Bo Nix would be the pick for all three of us.
Mm-hmm.
Pete,
yeah.
all right. In agreement.
Yep.
He does ask, anybody going with Strange over Andrews? For me, I'm going to go with Andrews. Coach?
Yeah, me too. Andrews.
Pete?
Yeah, I'll go Andrews. I know Strange had a good week, but I'll still roll with Andrews.
Yeah, I don't trust the Jags. I don't really want to do anything unless it's Brian Thomas Jr. there. We'll see what happens. You never know. But Hometown FF Advice over on X says, "What's up, guys? Can only pick one flex: Bucky, Kendre if Alvin Kamara's out, B-Rob or Kittle PPR." This is between Bucky and Kittle for me, but I think I'm going to go with Bucky. He's been playing great. He makes a big play every single week. So I am very comfortable putting Bucky in my lineup. Pete, what about you?
I can be swayed on B-Rob. I know it's a tough matchup, though. So I think you're going – I'm not going to get cute. I think it's probably Bucky or Kittle here. I think I still go with Bucky, though.
Yeah, I'm going to go. I initially thought Kittle or Bucky, but now I looked at Kittle's stats. He's, what is this, 19th in tight end targets over the last 3 weeks. Like, that surprised me a little bit. I'm going to go Bucky.
Yeah. Every time you say Bucky, I just feel at peace inside. I want you to know that, Coach. It's wonderful to hear.
I just threw
was
up in my
was
mouth.
Coach a Bucky? Was he a Bucky hater? Is that why? I know you love Bucky, but was Coach a Bucky hater or?
Go ahead, Coach. I'll let you
A little
speak.
A little bit. Like, I wasn't sure initially whether he could be a primary back, like
Yeah, I get it.
a
Small.
bell cow type of back. Yeah, small. Could he hold up in pass pro, stuff like that?
I get this.
But
It's funny though because Matt doesn't like Chase Brown, but I have the same
Mhm.
concerns about him.
Yeah.
But he likes Bucky.
Yep. I'm telling you, Chase Brown will be replaced. It's coming.
I can't.
But
I can't.
Bucky's the first. Bucky's the first deeper dynasty dive he's got right, and we're never going to hear the end of it.
No, that's not true. That's the first one that's been a big time quick hit like Puka. So I will give you that.
I thought you were big on Jalen Coker. Weren't you one of the first ones to call him out?
Coach
Who,
like
me?
Coker.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I like Coker.
Yeah.
I don't think he's
Didn't
that
you get us
great. I
that-
think he's going to be productive.
I mean, he has a path to playing. I mean, Thielen will be gone. Deontay Johnson's gone. Maybe they bring in somebody in the draft and sign a free agent or one or the other. But I think he still should have a carved out role there.
Yeah, Leggett has been a little frustrating to me. Watching him play. I thought he would be more impactful than he's been. He doesn't jump off the screen athletically like I hoped that he would.
Yeah, he's a little clunky.
I mean, he's had some games though.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's been bad in the last little bit. So you're not wrong there.
Mm-hmm. But now Coker did score on a completely busted coverage. Like, it wasn't like it was some fantastic play he made. He went 83 yards on a totally busted coverage. But good for him.
A score's a score.
My 10-year-old has his autograph, thinks it's great. So roll with it.
Now the truth comes out. Now we know.
Yeah. It's true.
It's there. The Panthers, man, tough life. All right, Jacoby Myers or Jonnu Smith. For me, I'm going to go with Jonnu. They just consistently get him involved, and he's playing great football. And, if you're putting him in your fantasy lineup, it's typically worked out the last little bit. Coach, how do you feel about Jonnu or Jacoby Myers?
Same. Last 3 weeks, Jonnu's got 26 targets. I'm going with Jonnu.
Yeah, I mean, 3 out of the last 4 weeks, 11 targets. Can't beat that.
Yep.
Pete, what do you follow on this?
It's Jonnu and who?
Jacoby Myers.
Okay. Yeah, I had a Teams work message. So I was answering that. Yeah, give me Jonnu Smith. Yeah, give me Jonnu Smith. I did have a pizza bet with Steve. I said Jonnu Smith would have 6 touchdowns this year, and he did. So that was a pretty big pizza bet.
Yeah, there we go.
Nice.
He has 6 exactly. That's a good call.
I know. I still got a couple more weeks left. I don't get any extra pizzas though for any extra touchdowns. So
Yeah. I'm just excited for my we've got a league mate of ours, and I did a big bet with him on Anthony Richardson to start the year, and that's going to lean my way. So I'm really excited for that. Well,
Yeah.
let's get to our next one, guys. Is would you guys consider benching Cup for Ladd? Man,
Ooh.
I think that I might. I mean, is that crazy to say? I think Ladd's.
Would
Pete,
I,
I saw your
would I
tweet earlier.
consider it? Would I consider it 100%? Would I do it? I don't know. That's a tough one, man.
Yeah,
I mean-
I'm gonna go with Cup. I'll go with Cup. I mean, look, 0 catches last week. I mean, it's not happening again. Let's be honest. We know that. Does McVay make it a point to get his guy going? I mean, I think so. And Ladd's going up against Denver, and Pat Surtain. Ladd did have a solid game against them last time, but Surtain wasn't playing. So now that he's back, yeah, I would go with Cup here comfortably.
Oh, you just swayed me. I think I'm going Cup now. Yeah, I'm
Squeaky
swayed.
wheel, man.
Yeah, you're not
Yeah,
wrong.
I'm with you.
The Surtain
you're
point,
right.
I think, is a really good one. He didn't play last time, and I would expect him to shadow Ladd. Is what's the other corner's name? Is he back
Riley, no, he's out.
yet? Okay.
But he's not the slot corner. Jaquan McMillan is, and so if Ladd plays the slot, McMillan's still there, who's really good as well. So, so it shouldn't be an issue.
Yeah.
Too much.
Okay.
I say
There
that.
you have. Now he goes
Yeah.
for
He's gonna
10
get
and
his.
202 touchdowns.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's hit Sleepy's question here. It says, is it crazy to start Brenton Strange over Travis Kelce in my playoff game this week? I usually like taking risks, and Travis Kelce just hasn't been it.
Is it crazy?
Go ahead, Coach.
Yes, it's crazy. It's crazy. Do not do that. Travis Kelce, the last 3 games, 27 targets. Like, I understand maybe why you're thinking that a little bit, but nah. I mean, if you lose the game with Kelce on your bench, then you're going to be kicking yourself. Like, he's a guy you have to play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean-
I don't think I can.
No. I would say, it could be your last game of the year. If you're that convinced, sure, start Brenton Strange. I mean, there's a world that he plays better. If Mahomes doesn't play, does Carson Wentz just hyper focus on Kelce and just feed him? They need to win this game. I mean, I think Mahomes is going to play, but at the same time, I mean, if you're that convinced, I tell people especially during playoffs, like if you're that convinced, then do it.
Yep.
Why not?
Go with your gut. You'll be mad
Yeah.
if you don't.
Yeah.
Oddly enough, the less mobile Mahomes is, just like that Super Bowl run with the high ankle sprain, it was just feed Kelce. Like,
Yep.
that sounds crazy, but I mean, I just think he's going to get the ball a lot.
Yeah, me too.
Hometown says, sorry, I don't know if this went through Bucky, Kittle, or Kendre. We all said Bucky, I think. Right? Yeah.
Yep,
Mhm.
we did.
So, okay. So Bucky for all 3 of us, hometown, if you're still in here. Chris comes in with a defensive question, so we get to kick it to our good friend Pete. Colts, Cardinals, Bengals, or Chargers?
Yeah, the Bengals are enticing, but the Colts have a better defense, and I know people are like, "Hey, Will Levis is benched, Mason Rudolph. Does that change much of your opinion?" He stinks as well. Maybe he won't turn the ball over nearly as much, but he'll take sacks. And the Colts defense played really well against Denver, and they need to win. So, yeah, I like the Colts in this spot.
Colts it is.
There you go.
Coach, do you have any defensive take that you want to put out into the world? Start your defensive calls right now.
My defensive call is listen to Pete. Colts.
We're on the same page.
Oh God, I'm so nervous about the Colts this week. I have them so high compared to other people. I'm just like they have me a little. I'm starting to second guess myself here, but I like them. So
Well, good news is
I,
Anthony Richardson won't have them on the field much. So
no, the Anthony Richardson will have the Colts defense on the field a ton. Yeah. I mean, but
oh,
I mean, it'll probably be a fight for who wants to win the game less. So
I mean,
valid.
I haven't heard your take too much, Pete. To be honest, I've heard a lot of Coach and I talk about it a lot. Where do you fall on Richardson? Like, what do you think is going to happen with the future?
me,
Yeah.
I mean, I ripped into Richardson earlier this year. I thought it was smart that they benched him. I think fantasy Twitter takes over Twitter too much and starts confusing people as to what's reality and what's fantasy. And I think people get dug in because they have agendas. But I think benching Richardson was a smart move. But Richardson looked like Richardson before the benching last week. I mean, it was brutal. And I know Denver's not a slouch to go up against, but I think they roll with him. This quarterback class stinks. They're actually in a good position to roll with him because the quarterback class the next year is going to have Arch Manning, Drew Aller staying back. I like Drew Aller that he's hanging back. It's going to be a much better quarterback class, and so I think they're going to stick with him. Now, how good of another quarterback do they bring in? Is Flacco going to be there? Do they bring in a Winston? I don't know if they want that controversy again, like they had this year a little bit. That I don't know. But I think they give him another year for sure.
Go
Is
ahead,
there a
Coach.
world? Is there a world where Kirk Cousins, Sam Darnold, one of those guys end up in Indianapolis?
I would love it for Josh Downs. I think the Kirk Cousins thing, I think people are forgetting he looked I'm not completely sold that Cousins is done. I know people think he is, but I don't know.
I agree. I don't think he is either.
Yeah, I don't think he is. They're not using him right. He's barely playing under center. That's his bread and butter. They have him in
Mhm.
shotgun like the entire time. It makes no sense. That's not really his thing. I don't really get it. And he did pop up on the injury report with a shoulder injury like a month ago, and that was just around where he started to play bad. And he was really good for an entire month. So like, I don't think he just all of a sudden got bad again. Like
I do.
so,
I do not think the Colts just run it back again. I don't.
no.
If Richardson's there, then I think he has somebody else that's capable in the building with him, not 42-year-old Flacco. That's what I think. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think they just bring the same quarterback room back. There's going to be a change there somewhere.
Maybe Zach Wilson.
Well, maybe.
Maybe that would be
Now that he's
that would be a
got some
funny quarterback.
high quality tutelage, you know.
Hey, let's be real. Steichen might not be there next year either. I wouldn't be that
Mm.
shocked if they made a move. I mean, especially how they
Yeah.
just lost in Denver. Like, I've read I follow a couple guys on the beat in Indy, and a lot of them seem to think that there's a possibility that he could be on the hot seat, which is crazy. I've liked Steichen, but it wouldn't shock me.
Coach loved that throwback from A.D. Mitchell across the field. He was a
Oh
big
my
fan of
God.
that.
He was open. He was open.
He was though. Honestly,
He was open until the guy picked it off and went the other way.
well,
I mean,
because he caught when he had the ball, he spun it to get the laces and then threw it. Like I'm like, dude, you just gave the defense like a whole extra second to see what's going on, and yeah, that was fucking nuts.
That play was hilarious. But we'll move on. We'll move on. Let me get back where we were. I think that's where we were. Sleepy says McMillan, Keenan Allen, or Smitty or Adam Thielen at the flex this week. McMillan's kind of looked good here at the end. I don't know if I want to throw him in the lineup. This is a tough question, man. Anybody have any conviction on this one?
I don't know. So Devonta Smith's dealing with a back injury, by the way. I don't think he played. I don't think he practiced this week. I do want to see what he did last time against Washington. 6.9 points, 6 targets, 4 for 29. Did AJ Brown practice today? Does anybody know?
I'll look it up.
Because
Let me look.
he got rolled up on, and I saw Devontae didn't practice, but I didn't hear that AJ Brown didn't practice, which I was surprised about.
Rested today.
He did. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, I could be swayed on Keenan Allen here. But I think Smitty's safer. But I could be swayed on Allen, who had 2 touchdowns and is going up against a bad defense when it comes to giving up slot receptions. So,
Yeah, I mean, we'll see if AJ Brown does play. We'll see if Lattimore kind of works against him. It was the first time we got to see Lattimore last week. And here's what I do know: if Sandstrell's going to be in the slot, he's played better. But if Devonta Smith gets lined up against Ben St. Juste on the outside, then it's over. And Smith could score 5 times in this game because I could talk for an hour about how much.
whoa! What about you don't think Lattimore? Well, I guess he'll probably be on AJ.
I'm
right?
saying if AJ plays, if he plays, that's what I'm saying.
Does he shadow though? I mean, I don't know. I mean, he only played once.
I don't know if he's going to or not. That's a question. I haven't read if he is or isn't.
Yeah.
Coach, who do you like here?
Well, Thielen's a sneaky play. He's been playing a lot better. Like, that's a sneaky play. I wouldn't play him here. But, I mean, I was looking back at his numbers while you guys were talking. Like, he's been getting a lot of volume. I mean, especially considering where he was earlier in the year. Of course, he came back healthy, and now they're looking at him a lot more. But Keenan Allen seems to be where Caleb goes when he gets in the red zone. So if the Bears can get in the red zone, then Allen's, there's a good chance he scores a touchdown. So it's Allen or Smitty for me.
All right.
I'd probably lean Smitty if he's playing.
Yeah, I think so too. We've been going for about an hour, so we'll kind of go through these next questions here for another 20 minutes or so, and then we'll get out of here. We've got a couple of pick threes here from Joe. This is for his running backs: Chuba Hubbard, James Cook, Mixon, and Jonathan Taylor. Pick 3. My 3 are going to be James Cook, Mixon, and Taylor. Coach, what about you?
Same.
Pete?
Yeah, I want to find a way to get Chuba in there, but I don't think that I can. So yeah. I mean, honestly, I would maybe sit Mixon for Chuba against the KC defense, number 1 against the run. In a game that I don't think will be high scoring. I could be swayed on maybe starting Chuba against Arizona. But I think I'm still going to start with Mixon and Cook and Taylor, though.
All right, well, we've got pick 3 wide receivers too: Garrett Wilson, T. Higgins, Sutton, and Jawan Jennings. For me, I'm going to go Garrett Wilson, T. Higgins, and Sutton. Despite Garrett Wilson's little cryptic stuff today, I don't know if you guys saw that. Will he be a Jet? Will he get traded? I don't think he's going to get traded, but we'll have to see. Pete,
well, he was pissed at one point during the game. He was pissed at one point during the game Sunday about not getting a fade ball thrown to him. You see that?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going Wilson, Higgins, Sutton myself, especially the flex play I've got with Sutton and Bo Nix. That's going to beat Matt single-handedly. I mean,
Ooh.
Not.
Stack. I mean, excuse me, the stack.
I'll go Jawan Jennings if that helps change that momentum.
Shit. Yeah, I mean, Sutton, 15 fantasy points last time he played them, 4 catches, 53 and a touchdown. I mean, he hasn't scored under 12 fantasy points since week 7. So I think Sutton has to play. I think I go T. Higgins, Sutton. Yeah, Jawan Jennings is odd man out, unfortunately.
Yeah. Let's get to our next one here. It says, got to pick 2 Bucky, Chuba Hubbard, Kittle, Kendra if Kamara's out, or B-Rob. I'm going to go Bucky, and I might go Hubbard here. I think Pete kind of convinced me on the last one there. I was going to say Brian Robinson or Kittle, but I think I might go Hubbard.
Same.
Coach?
Yeah, same.
All right. There you go. Let's get to Nina. Says, sorry for the long question, but having trouble setting this lineup. 2 running back, 2 wide receiver, 2 flex. Chase Brown, Cook, Bucky, Brian Robinson, Tracy, Jettas, Nico, Terry McLaurin. Is there – I don't see a second part. So would you guys pick your 2 here? For me, I'll go Cook, Bucky, Jettas, Nico, Terry, and Chase Brown.
I'm gonna go Brown and Cook, Jettas and Nico, and then Terry and Bucky.
Yeah, me too. Tyrone Tracy and B-Rob are odd man out for me.
Yeah. All right, Pete. Colts defense or Broncos defense?
Colts.
Another Colts victim.
I like Denver. I think Denver's less risky. I think Colts have more upside.
Well, there you go.
Best way to put it.
All right, which 3 wide receivers should I start? Cooper Kupp, AJ Brown, Scary Terry, JSN, Brian Thomas Jr. Also needs an RB2 in another league. B-Rob, Tracy, or Ford. For your wide receivers, I'll go Brown as long as he's playing. Scary Terry and
Balls.
Cooper Kupp. Coach? What?
He didn't hear.
I'm distracted.
Should we go to Pete?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I mean, AJ. If Gino plays, JSN and BTJ here for me. I give you Swade
Yeah,
on
I mean-
JSN for Cup, but yeah,
BTJ was awesome the other day. I mean, he was awesome last week. If AJ Brown plays, I'm playing him. AJ Brown, Terry, and BTJ.
All right, real
But
quick.
JSN's
B-Rob,
right
Tracy,
there.
or Ford? B-Rob, Tracy, or Ford, Coach? Real quick.
Tracy.
Tracy. Coach? Or Pete, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Tracy.
Yeah, I think I'm Tracy too. Ford's
B-Rob
tempting,
is
but I'm,
safer, but Tracy has more upside.
mhm.
Totally.
Also need 2 flex spots in another league. Terry, Brian Thomas Jr., Shakir, Garindo, or Tracy. I'll go Terry and Brian Thomas Jr. here.
Yep, same.
Yeah, same.
All right. Let's see here. Bates Outdoor in Chicago. Oh, that's two chats in there about some kickers.
balls.
We've got Hoff who answered the
Balls.
question. He also said he didn't want his money back. It was well worth it. Well, thank you, Hoff. We appreciate it, my friend. Let's get down here to our next one. Bucky or London in the
He
flex?
has hearing it.
I know he doesn't hear it.
What is it?
Yeah, you don't hear the sound drops at all.
I'm not hearing
balls.
anything.
Cock balls.
You don't hear that?
I'm not hearing anything.
Oh, fuck it. Just move on.
Golly.
Sorry, I don't hear anything. I don't know.
You
You
gotta
guys
get
Because you're
talking
sitting.
about.
That's because you're sitting in the back of the room.
I can't help it, man. I got to get the new chair. I'm not
Jeez.
like you, man. Bucky or
Stand up
London,
like
Coach?
you always do. London.
I'm going Bucky.
Bucky for me too.
Got to see that.
right.
I think the Penix connection could be fine, but Dallas, It's hard not to play Bucky against them.
You're
Yep.
right there.
But Penix, they get the Giants. So
London scores.
Do we want to answer this? Pick one: Sonic, Knuckles, or Shadow. Coach is so old he doesn't know what that means, so we'll skip him. Pete, what about you?
I would say Knuckles. Yeah.
Knuckles. I'm gonna go Shadow.
I don't know.
Did someone in Detroit take over Shadow? Is there somebody?
I have no idea what this is. What is this?
See, I told you he's too old. He's too old.
Shadow is Craig Reynolds. That's who Shadow is. Vaki, because he'll never get a snap this year. Vaki, he'll be in the shadows.
Yeah. All right.
Are either of those running backs going to play? Is Gibbs the guy?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I think
without
Craig
a
Reynolds
doubt?
is gonna. I think Craig Reynolds is gonna be their hammer, though. I think he'll take over that
Yeah,
Monty.
I think he'll get some reps, but I think for the most part it'll be Gibbs' show. But
Hey, this is
there
a
will
big
be other
major
work.
break though for the Gibbs truthers. I like Gibbs, don't get me wrong, but interested to see how that offense is different without having a hammer like Monty there.
Well, the question is,
Yeah.
does Gibbs keep his same role and Reynolds just becomes the hammer, or is Gibbs the full-time guy now?
I think Reynolds is more involved than people think. I think
I do
he's
too.
gonna get. I think he might get close to eight touches.
Dan Campbell didn't shy away from that.
I know.
All right, Goff over Mahomes at quarterback with Patrick being hurt. Coach, are you starting Goff over Mahomes?
I think I'm starting Goff over Mahomes. Either way, maybe. Either way.
Me too.
Yeah.
Hard or
All right,
not.
Pete, Colts or Jags?
Oh God, Colts.
Colts or Texans?
Colts.
It's a Colts week, boys.
Oh God.
Where's Tyler? You need some
I hate
negative
telling-
energy. About the
I hate
Colts.
telling so many people Colts, man. It's gonna burn me. Telling you.
All right,
We got Mason
we'll move
Rudolph,
on.
right?
What could go wrong?
Yeah.
All right, he says, yes, I'm a sicko who held on to defenses toward the end of the season. Which one are we rocking with? The Broncos, Steelers, or Eagles?
You're going Broncos.
Broncos
I mean,
is the
Herbert's
answer.
Herbert's got a banged up ankle right now, and no J.K. Dobbins. That offense hasn't looked the same over the last few weeks. The Bucks held them in check. So
The Bucks held them in check. Yeah, well, there we go. We did get another super chat from Hoff here. I guess that's what the background drop is that I can't hear. I don't know why I can't hear it.
Oh, it's all right.
I have no idea what's happening. But we are getting towards the ends of these questions here, guys. Coach, Neighbors or Lad?
Lad.
I think I might go with the volume of Neighbors for me, but I could see why you would say Lad. He's
No, I
played well.
think it's tough, but man, he has looked really well, really good.
Pete, where do you fall on Neighbors or Lad?
I'm gonna go with Neighbors.
Yeah. All right.
Because I know I know Locke will pepper him.
That's what I kind of expect. Matt says Drew should have declared for the draft this year. I don't know. I'm kind of with Pete. I think holding back was the right move.
Yeah. I hope we see this with more college quarterbacks, I think the funniest thing is Knicks came out ready to go, but then you look at guys like Richardson, some of these raw guys that have came out of college without as many games, and they've end up flaming out, So I hope NIL keeps these guys staying in college longer.
Well, Knicks did play a long time. Like, I do think that's one of the advantages Cam Ward has. Like,
Yeah.
Cam Ward's been successful for multiple years at multiple places. Everywhere he's been successful. I do understand Matt's point, though. Like, I think Drew's chances of being a first-round quarterback are pretty high right now.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But
The class will be better next year too.
right,
but-
I think that's Matt's point mostly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get it.
I mean,
I
we'll
get
see
it.
what turns
I'm
into.
sure he's getting some crazy NIL money to stay. So there's that.
Yeah, I mean, he just looked so much better.
Yeah,
Like
he's definitely
so much
improved
better
towards the
this
end
year
of the
than
season.
last year. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think staying
Zach
is
says you
better
guys-
for his development long
Me too.
term.
Absolutely. Zach says, are you guys taking start sit questions? He'd love some help. Absolutely, we are. Standard league, not PPR. Lost Kamara and Montgomery to injuries. Start one of these: Tyrone Tracy, Travis Etienne, or Alexander Madison. I think the answer is Tracy here. I don't want to trust Travis Etienne at all. If Kamara is healthy, would either of you guys play Kamara over Tracy?
I would. Yeah, I would.
Just volume
Kamara's
alone, it's a safer play.
Yeah. Kamara's another one of those guys that if he's on your roster, you're playing him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would start Tracy out of these three, though.
Yeah,
me
I
too.
agree.
Underground says, thanks, guys, with a super chat. Hey, thanks, man. We appreciate it. Thanks for all your questions. Thanks for being here. If you guys are still in here, be sure to like the stream as we're closing down. We do have one more question from Underground, and this is a big one, Coach. I'm going to kick it to you. Cam Ward is probably the best quarterback in college, better than the Colorado quarterback.
I tend to agree with Underground, Rob. Again, I have said, I've already said this before, but I have a little bit of bias towards Cam Ward, to be honest. Like I like Miami, and I'm a big Miami fan, so that there is that. But I've just watched him in great detail. The dude can read defenses. He's poised. Nothing bothers him. He has a rocket launcher attached to his shoulder. Like he can make every throw. Yeah, I mean, I really like Cam Ward. I saw a report. I don't know if this is accurate at all, but somebody saying that the Giants would take him and then pair him with his offensive coordinator at Miami going with him. That would be interesting.
Now, you would love that. You've been a big proponent of Miami's coordinator too.
Yeah, he's been great. He's been awesome. I would hate for him to leave.
They should bring the Giants should bring the defensive coordinator too.
Oh, it might as well. It'd be about the same as what they got going on.
Yeah, so I mean, the smooth transition.
It is fun to watch that offense because you know they're going to have to score 40 just to win the game.
Yeah,
I mean, Miami cannot tackle. That secondary can't tackle at all.
Or cover.
Or cover, yeah.
Yeah, it's gross, man.
All right. Well, our last few questions here, fellas. Michael says Adams over London with Penix starting full PPR. Yeah, I think I'd probably start Adams over London with how he's been playing here recently. Pete, are you any different there?
Yeah, I'm good with it.
Agreement? Coach is good with it too.
Same.
So Adams for all three of us. Falcons or Broncos DST, Pete.
Broncos.
And then we've got Pollard or Ford. I'm going Pollard, Coach.
Pollard.
Flex 2, Devonta Smith, Mooney, and Kelsey. I'll go Kelsey and Smith. Mooney's been pretty bad here recently, and I don't want to start him with Penix going into the lineup. Coach is in agreement. Pete, any disagreement there?
No, I'm with you. That donut for Mooney, I won in a league. I scored like one of the highest points on the year, and I was going to lose. I went up against Lamar, Adams, and the Chiefs defense, and Mooney scoring 0, having 0 points. I ended up winning by 1.3. So
that was a stressful game for you.
Yeah, I'd say so.
All right, well, you've got 3 more guys. Neighbors or Pickens? I'm going to say Neighbors. I just think that the volume alone. Who do they take on this week again? Did we say they have the Ravens?
Giants get Falcons, and Pickens gets Ravens.
Yeah, so, I mean, decent matchup there. Coach, what do you think?
Neighbors, just 37 targets in the last 3 games.
Yeah. I initially said Pickens, but I think I switched to Neighbors too.
There we go. Trifecta. All right. Pick 2, full PPR. Chase Brown, Kenneth Walker, Bucky Irving, Rashad White. I'll go Chase Brown and Bucky.
Shocker.
Coach. I want to say
Yeah.
Walker, but I don't know. I don't really trust the
do that.
Seahawks right now, to be honest.
If Walker's playing, Walker and Chase Brown.
You could sway me on Bucky and Rashad White. It's crazy, I know, but they both been pretty good together. But I gotta disagree. I'll go Chase and Bucky as well. I mean,
There we go.
Does it change your mind if Geno sits? You still starting Walker?
Yeah, I am. But at the same time,
You do like Sam Howell.
Bingo.
No,
Big Sam Howell believer. That guy was the first Sam Howell believer to ever exist.
That's what I heard.
Not true. That's not true.
It is true. It is true, and you know it.
I drafted him with a 3rd-round pick in a rookie draft. Like, that was a good pick, actually. He won me a lot of games for a 3rd-round pick in a rookie draft. All right, he had half a good season.
I wanted Denver to trade for him if they couldn't get a quarterback, just at least a flyer. But yeah, no, he sucks.
I think if
What
Sam
coach
Howell
is trying
played,
to say?
he'd be okay. He's a solid backup. He'll be okay.
Oh,
He's a Gardner Minshew guy. Like he just is what he is. Yeah, that's what I was going to put up there. Coach believed in Sam Howell before Sam Howell's parents. There is
I'm about
truth
the same
there,
age as his parents, probably.
All right, last one, guys.
Hoff's older though, I think.
Yeah, Huff might be older than you. I don't know.
I can't remember. We had this discussion.
Love, Kyler, or Rodgers? Who are you going to pick to close out this semifinal week, Coach?
Oh man, I cannot stand Aaron Rodgers, just to be honest. So it's not really fair. Who the Jets have again? I'm blanking.
Jets get the Rams.
Yep.
I'm going Kyler on principle.
Kyler, that was actually surprising. Pete, what do you think here?
He has the Panthers. That helps.
Yeah, I'll go Kyler.
Kyler for all three of us. Coach, just to let you know, Hoff says 41 a week from Monday. There you go.
He's not quite as old as Morton Anderson, right? When he's the oldest kicker to ever play. When he like 47 or something.
He was old. There you go.
Kickers have made field goals in the league older than Hoff. So there's that.
Wow.
A little bit of nugget.
And older than me. And I'm older than Hoff.
Oof. There you go, Hoff. You're a spring chicken. Coach, you are our resident AARP representative. We appreciate you having here. And thank you. It is time for your Jell-O. But I think that is going to do it for us, guys. We appreciate everyone who's tuned in, asked questions. Thank you for being here. If we missed a question, be sure to comment below, and we will come back and answer it. We are here every single Wednesday at 8:30 Eastern. Coach and I, Pete, thank you for joining us tonight. We really enjoyed having you on here, even if you are playing some different drops in the background that allegedly I can't hear. So we'll work through that. But be sure to like and subscribe, and we will see you guys next time.